In the Middle Ages, everybody basically started speaking Spanish with an Argentinian accent. And it's actually the reason why the letter J makes the H sound in Spanish, but in like no other language. Let's start with the word hijo and go back in time and see when it became like Argentinianized. So it doesn't really look like it, but hijo comes from the Latin word filius, specifically the accusative form filium. First that M got dropped and then that short U got changed to an O, so it became filio. And then at some point the L and the Y sound kind of fused and became Y. So instead of filio, it was filio. And actually this sound exists in some dialects of Spanish, just not in this word. For instance, in some dialects of peninsular Spanish, they'll pronounce the double L in this word as y, so llamar. And actually in Italian, they still pronounce figlio as figlio, but Spanish had more changes in store. Just like hundreds of years later, some dialects of Spanish changed llama to llama. The same thing happened with filho, and it became fijo. And actually by this time, the F had already been weakened a ton, so it would have probably been pronounced more like hijo or ijo. So it changed from this like ly sound to something closer to the English j sound. So that's actually why it started getting spelled with a J. And again, a lot of modern Spanish speakers use this sound. They just don't use it for J, they use it for double L. Why don't they use it for J? Well, that's where the Argentinianization comes in. Just like a lot of Argentinians will turn the double L sound into a sh, turning llama into shama, the same thing happened with ijo becoming isho. So it was like the classic real potense devoicing of the j sound that we see in Argentina and Uruguay. And it's funny because if I gave the average Latin American speaker this word spelled like this, they'd probably pronounce it exactly how somebody would have pronounced hijo in the 1400s. So like ijo. But then if I give it to an Argentinian, they'd pronounce it like somebody would have pronounced hijo in the 1500s. So like isho. And then obviously eventually that sh got moved farther back in that mouth to like h. So maybe instead of saying yo me llamo, future Argentinians will say jo me llamo. La verdad es que eso sería un sueño. Also, if you want to support my videos, check out my like lingo shirts and hoodies and stuff.